Perfect. All right, we're good. We are on. Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are doing well. So this is our live hour. I know for those of you who are used to tuning into the same time every day, you might have been caught off guard if you weren't ready or you hadn't realized that I had pushed the new time. Starting this week, everything is moving back by 1 hour just because I like to take my evening walks. And usually after I'm done with the lives and then I'm also done with the study group, I go for my walk in our trails. But because the sun is going down so early and also it's getting colder, I love walking at night, don't get me wrong, just because you can see the stars here and it's really, really pretty. And I usually have my flashlight, my little light that I flash out and stuff. But it's too cold. It's gonna be too cold, so I can't walk in the evening. So I was like, okay, it's that time of the year, so moved everything forward or later to an hour and 15 minutes later. So that gives me enough time to go do my walk, come back, get situated, and then get on the lives. And then all I have to worry about after I'm doing my lives and my study group is just making dinner and chilling for the evening with my partner. So, but hey guys, so for those of you who are new, this is free for any hour. So you get a chance to ask me whatever specific questions you want to ask me about. So if you want to ask me about your life, what exactly are you asking me about? If you want to ask me about a situation, like a relationship, if you want to ask me about a job situation, a work situation, career situation, whatever it is you want to ask me about, now's your chance to ask me. Please don't be general or vague in your questions just because I skipped those. I don't have time to figure out what you want to know. I just want you to tell me what you want to know so I can tune in and then give you my best understanding of what I'm sensing or feeling from that. If you are wanting me to connect with loved ones in spirit, let me know who you want to connect with, and I would try to connect with you and bring through any messages that will help to affirm that they are still with you as well. Did Instagram change? I'm used to seeing a bunch of hearts. I don't see any hearts whatsoever. So I'm like, what's going on? I don't see any hearts. Did they get rid of the hearts? Or let me see, heart myself. See, I don't see any hearts on mine, that's weird. It's like I've never seen, I don't know, what's that all about? I don't know what that's about. It's like, oh, look, there they are. Okay, I'm like, where are the hearts at? I don't know where the hearts are at. It's like, what's going on here? I'm not even seeing hearts anymore. Okay, so I'm seeing them now. Thanks, guys. I was like, I'm used to seeing the hearts. I freaked out for no hearts. I was like, it's gonna feel weird without the hearts. But anyways, so if you want to connect with a loved one, who do you want to connect with? And I'll try to connect and bring through any information that you would like. We are currently on Instagram and also on Facebook and on YouTube. So for those of you who are on Facebook and on YouTube, if you want to be on the live with me, meaning that halfway through the session, I do like text or comment based readings for like the first part of our live, and then the second part of our live I do video, or I bring people on and do actual live video readings for people. If you want to be on the video, you have to be on Instagram because that's where I'm doing it from. I can't wait to get my 1,000 followers on TikTok. I'm at 500, so I'm almost there, but I can't wait to get to 1,000 so I can start bringing in the TikTok crew as well, and then I can have two going, TikTok and Instagram simultaneously, and then we can still have Facebook and YouTube. But I think that's it, I guess. I think that's it. There's something else. Oh, if you want to know about me, what do I do for a living? Or this is what I do for a living, but if you want to know about my work, you can go over to my website. Everything is from my website. If you get hit up by someone on Instagram or on Facebook or on YouTube, and they private message you or they reach out to you pretending to be me, they are not me. My name is right here, Ferny ESP, right there. There's no line after it. It's just Ferny ESP. There's a Ferny ESP with a line that has been going around, and this asshole, he keeps copying people's pages, and then he basically pretends to be them, and he messages a bunch of people and tries to get them to basically get a reading in exchange for money. And he does it through instant messaging or through private message. And then when we catch on to him, he changes his entire profile, or this person changes their profile to somebody else's. So they keep changing profile. So no matter how often we report it, and no matter how often I report it, Instagram has not taken them down. And all the other psychics and people that they've been pretending to be, same thing, they haven't been taken down. I don't understand what that's about. And if you go to them after a day or two, they change their name to a completely different name altogether. So the Ferny ESP with the little underscore will no longer exist, which is ridiculous. I'm like, what's going on with that? But y'all, I don't do readings through private message, through direct message, or through text in any way, shape, or form. Everything is done through my site. So if you're going to use any kind of services that I offer, you must go through my website, fernandamarone.com. I don't conduct transactions through any other like modality. So just so y'all know, if anyone tries to approach y'all or offers y'all a reading, first of all, make sure that they sound like me, because most people don't sound like me. They come across and they're like, oh, my beloved, I'm drawn to you, or some craziness. It doesn't even sound like me. And it's funny because my BFF messaged me and she's like, hey, did you duplicate your page? And she sent me the message that she got, and I'm like, you're my BFF. Like, how do you not realize that's not me? Like, how do you not figure that out yet? Like, that's not me. Like, I don't have a duplicate page. I don't even talk like that. So I don't know where you're getting all that. Like, what are you talking about? So it's funny. Anyways, all right, so let's get started here. So let me jump over here. Let me bounce around here. And if, by the way, guys, if you want to connect with someone in spirit, be specific. You just open it up to whoever. Literally, it might take more time to figure out who's around you than anything else. So just FYI. Ann Williams, will me and my guy move forward together in relationship? Is there moving in together, commitment, or marriage for us, please? So slow your butt down. Slow your butt down, because you're ready to apply this person to the rest of your life. And let me tell you something. You want to make sure you really know who you're dealing with, because if not, you're stuck with this person for some time and then you can get rid of them. But to answer your question, I actually don't feel bad about the connection. I actually think that the connection has a lot of potential as far as like longevity and being able to go further than just like, dating. So I do think it can go to the next level. It might take about 1 year and 7 months to get to that point though. So you might just have to be patient. This person is also going to go a little slower than you would prefer. So you need to just be patient. So just FYI with that. But yeah, give them about 1 year and 7 months before you start to get to that point of the relationship. But there's definitely potential there. Also, if they around the holiday season, if they pull away or if they decide to detach, it may not actually be about the relationship. It may be that they're just going through a lot and they can't process everything. So they may distance themselves for a little bit. So at that point, you may need to be aware of that or be prepared for that, so that way you're not caught off guard, and then that creates an additional set of issues for the relationship. Okay. Jericho G, I'm broke. Is there a message job opportunity coming to me soon? Yeah, so I like how you said that, like, I'm broke. So is there a job coming that's gonna pay me money? I feel like it's gonna take a couple months though. So I'm not thinking it's gonna be right this minute. I think it's gonna take about 2.5 months or so. It does feel part-time or just like a either contract-based or part-time job. It also is connected to a distribution company or a retail chain of some sort. So it may be something like that. But then there's another job opportunity that comes your way early next year that may be through someone that you know, like a friend or a sibling, or a family member. And that one may actually be like a full-time job that comes with benefits and everything. Ross one, hey Ferny, was the gentleman that brought me food and visited me in my dream a deceased spirit or archangel? Neither. First of all, archangels or angels are not like people. So when people think of angels, they usually think of angels as like guides. They're two separate things. Guides and angels, I know people are going to disagree with me on that. That's okay. Y'all can disagree with me all y'all want. I don't give a damn. This is what I learned and what I've gained through my experiences. Angels and guides are two separate things. Angels are forms of energy that are representative manifestations of God and different various levels of God. They're not persons or people or spirits or entities that have lived lives. They're just simply pure forms of energy and manifestations of source or God. Guides are, they are there to help us through our life and to work through stuff. So those are guides. And then our deceased loved ones in spirit usually don't become guides. Sometimes I'll run into someone that does have a loved one or a family member who becomes a guide, but usually a spirit guide is a spirit guide. They're basically someone that you agreed or you entered into a contract with from the moment right before you were conceived, because you worked on stuff before you were conceived, into your death period. The individual that brought you food is a guide. It may not be your main guide, it's a secondary guide, but it showed up in this way because it's a representation of a spirit being that is bringing you food. So it's a spirit being that is offering you nurturing energy. That's what the food represents in the dream, is nurturing energy. So that's what that is in your dream. So it's not an angel and it's not a spirit. It's a spirit guide, but it's not your main guide. It's a secondary guide or an additional guide. Alternative guide is what I call it. An alternate, not alternative, alternate. Rebecca Lynn. Hi, Ferny. I'm about to go through a radiation treatment Friday, and I was wondering if you see what my health will be like over the next few months. So I do think that the next 3 months are going to be not the easiest, especially your digestive system. I feel like you might have a whole host of other things come up with your digestive system. I do also see some weight changes as well, so be prepared for that. But you might actually respond pretty well to the radiation, more so than what you would expect. Either that, or it's a different form of radiation therapy that isn't what we're all used to, where it's so like hardcore. So it might be a bit of a tweaked version of it, because I almost feel like it's 2 medications or it's 2 treatments in one. Because I feel like you're going to try to knock out 2 things in one. But I feel like you'll come out okay. Alyssa, hi Ferny, my wife and I have been trying to get pregnant these past 2 months, have been negative results. Would she get pregnant this month? I'm not seeing baby energy right this minute. There might be a false positive around December, like around Christmas. So there potentially could be a false positive. So I would just make sure to follow, like if she thinks she's pregnant and then y'all go check and then y'all go take a test, it might actually indicate that she's pregnant. But then when you go to the doctor will say, no, something's going on with the hormones. So just be prepared in case it isn't an actual pregnancy in December. But I do feel baby energy around the first of the year, like around February or so. So Valentine's Day, something in the Valentine's Day or the first part of the year, there's baby energy around you. That doesn't mean that you should stop or that you shouldn't try. Keep trying, make me wrong. But I feel like early next year, February, is just when I'm feeling baby energy around you. Okay. Mary Beth, hi Ferny. Was wondering if I could ask for your advice on something. I definitely know I am an empath and it has been getting much stronger lately. Today I had an experience where I got very emotional and physically shaken by this experience. Could you point me in the right direction for learning more and developing this gift? I really appreciate it. Sorry guys, I'm having the ZVS, so it's like all of the bubbles and everything is like accumulating, so it's got me. So there's actually a dedicated empath that writes books that is really good. What is her name? I forgot her name. I studied her work back in the day and then it's like been so long. I want to say it's trying to remember her name. I might even have her damn book and I don't even remember her name. I want to say it's Carla McLaren. That's her name, Carla McLaren. So I was like trying to figure it out. I was like, I know it's like something that I've heard before. Carla McLaren is a very established empath in the industry. She writes several. She has a lot of books and she has a lot of programs out there. So first of all, I started off as an empath. Basically, for those of y'all who don't know what the hell an empath is, a person who's an empath is someone who is very emotionally sensitive. The thing about it is we are, to some extent, all humans are empaths, but not to the degree of an actual like full-blown like empath. An empath is someone who is extremely sensitive to emotion. Now granted, when you watch like movies and shows in Hollywood, like they totally turn it into something more than it actually is, but it's basically just being sensitive to emotion. And sometimes it's hard to distinguish between what you're feeling and what others are feeling, because you feel other people's emotion or energy in the same way you would feel your own. So it can get a little cloudy in your head and you can get very confused. It's pretty much the basic like level idea of what an empath is. And so in order to really use that to your advantage, because at the end of the day, most empaths make the mistake of trying to avoid emotion, or they're trying to control and reduce negative emotion. And that's not going to give you your power. That's not going to be what helps you to develop or to utilize that skill. If you have an ability to experience emotion, you can't just pick and choose what emotions you choose to experience. You have to allow yourself to experience all of them. This is what really helped me to develop my psychic abilities, because I basically embraced feeling emotion. And so when I would do like missing persons cases, or when I would work on, when I would do mediumship, or when I'm connecting with like people whose loved ones have passed and I'm having to go there, sometimes I'm having to go there in a way where I don't want to, where I feel something, or I feel something to such an extent and intensity that it is definitely not an enjoyable experience emotionally, but it's a part of the process. And so you have to give yourself over to the process and allow yourself to be used. That's actually what separates the gonnabes from the wannabes when it comes to the spiritual community and the healers and the teachers and the masters. The true masters are always going to surrender to the process and not think that they know more than God or the universe. They're just going to lend themselves to the process and go with the flow of what they're being summoned or what's being called from within. The wannabes always want to control it. They think they know more than God. They think they know more than everybody else. They think that they're better than some people, and they kind of get caught up in themselves. And even though to some extent, many of us have healthy egos. I know I have a very healthy ego, but at the end of the day, you have to know your place in this universe and in this reality and in this world. And so a lot of people who are wannabes don't know their place. And so they want to kind of they're just for show, and they never really achieve much. And they might get lucky once or twice, but they're not really going to do it on a regular basis. But to develop your skills, to answer your question, Mary Beth, go to my website. What I would recommend is first just get very clear about psychic ability, because empathy, or the ability of being an empath, is like a battery, and you can use it to charge and to strengthen and to develop your psychic ability. But you need to understand psychic ability. And psychic ability is the ability to utilize all of your senses, your energetic senses, not just your emotional senses. And by doing so, you can leverage some of your experiences so that you basically are bringing energy through, but it isn't all accumulating with your emotional centers. You can actually use it and amplify your other psychic senses. And which is what I did, essentially. But go to my website, go down, fernandomaron.com, go down to classes, you click that, and then right there at the very top, there's free psychic development or free core class. It's like a 2-3 hour thing that I put together. It took me over a year to put it together. And I cover a lot of areas of need to knows. And a lot of people who want to be psychic or are serious at developing, they don't do the work. They just want a switch to be flipped, or they want to hear a sound on the headphones that gives them psychic ability, or they want to take a pill that makes them magically psychic. You have to put the work into it. Sorry, guys. You're not going to get any shortcuts. I didn't get a shortcut. Nobody gets a shortcut. So that's a great way to start to understand your psychic side, and then you can use that. And then go to Carla McLaren. She can help you with more of the empath part of it. But again, if you just surrender yourself to the process, you can definitely utilize your skills and begin to make sense of the subtleties between the different emotional states and the different various energy states between yourself and the other person. Paula, Ferny, I'm unsure what career path is coming up in my future. I have so many routes and so much I can do. What do you see as my work in the future? Thank you. Yeah. So, hey, Paula. So I actually see you going into records and, records management. Records management. What does that mean? I almost feel like you're going to go into a job opportunity that has to do with cataloging records, but it feels like it's a university or a school system. So it might actually, and it has to do with documents or manuscripts or things that are held in high esteem. For example, if I want to read a document and the document is very old and very significant, it has to be handled with the utmost care and respect. But there's a vault, or there's this rooms that have those cabinets where you have to open, the doors, the big shelves move around and you move them. I'm seeing that. So there's something like that may have to do with a major university or a school system that is going to come up for you within the next year or two. It's interesting because you might actually get into a different job opportunity that has to do with someone you either have already worked with or know through your past work experiences. But then this comes up that I'm describing, and then you go with it because it feels like it falls right in the category of what your background is anyways. And I also feel like it's going to be something that pays you well, and it gives you a lot of flexibility with the least amount of stress. So I think that's something you're going to get into. Okay, let me go over here. Anywhere you want to, baby, now. Stephanie Apex Stone. I've never worked so hard in my life, and am I on the right path? Do my guides have any advice for me? I believe you are on the right path, but I also feel that even though you're working really hard right now, I feel that there's going to be a bit of a shift as we get into springtime next year, where you're going to become a lot more involved with programs, projects, or event-like things that are still connected to the industry. But it's almost as if it's kind of like a bypass, so that you don't have to do as much work as you've been doing, or you can reduce that workload, take some of that off your plate, but then still be able to earn or do what you have to do. But it's almost like this bypass, and it has to do with, again, projects, programs, or like events. I want to put all that together because I feel like that all goes together. And what I mean by that, here's an example of this. So back when I used to work at Starbucks once a year or every couple of years, they would put on a event at the art museum in Houston called a mixed media event. What they would do is they would essentially rent out the entire museum, and then they would basically separate it into different sections. I always worked the VIP section just because I took care of the VIPs. So I was always a VIP, making sure they were content, they were good. You know, people were there, they seemed awkward. I would create conversations to make them feel comfortable. So that's what I worked, but there was different areas. And so part of the museum was actually turned into a club. So people were dancing and getting down, like right next to like some well-known works of art. You had like cafes inside of it. It was the craziest thing, but it was pretty cool actually. But there's something like that I keep thinking about. And I feel like there's something that keeps coming up in my mind when I talk to you about like what's coming up in the next year for you, and this shift that's going to take place with these types of events that are very very focused on themes, or very focused on a type of audience. Okay. Mercy Page, should my husband stay on his current career path, or the other one he is considering, similar to the work he was doing right out of school? I wonder why people ask me what they should do. Just because it always surprises me when people ask me, what should I do? And I always tell people, I don't know what you should do. Like, it's not my place to tell anybody what they should do. I have enough responsibility figuring out what I should be doing. So I don't tell nobody what they should do. I just tell people what I see or what I feel is going to end up happening. I actually think that your husband's going to stay put for about 7 months. So I don't see him making any changes right this minute. I think for about 7 months, he's going to stay put. And then it's as if this opportunity or something very similar, but is better, comes along, or it's like an updated or upgraded version of this opportunity comes up next, like summer or spring, late spring, early summer. And that feels much better. And then at that point, it's not even a question of do I want to, it's more like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to take advantage of that. So it feels like it's a better version of the opportunity. I'm not sure if it's coming from the same individual or if it's going to be coming from a different source, but it does feel like a better upgraded version of the opportunity. So that's how I would describe that. Okay. Virginia Wanser. Hi, Ferny. Do you see me staying in my current job and working through things, or moving forward somewhere else? I feel like you're going to stay put. You might come really close to leaving in December, and it might have something to do with money or with what's expected. So whether if they're talking about a raise or a bonus or something like that, it might be something where you're just really disappointed or you're just not having it. But I kind of feel like you might stay put and then wait. And then I think that August or September of next year, you might find a different job. Interestingly enough, the other job kind of feels like, I wouldn't call it a step down, but it almost feels like you're taking taking stuff off your plate, because I also see you going into a program or possibly getting some additional skills or credentials. And then in 2023, like around the spring or summer of 2023, I feel like then you find another job opportunity or go into a completely different career path. So I kind of feel like you're going to end up going back into like a learning mode with this program. But you might just go into something that I would say is either like contractual or it's going to be like, it doesn't, again, I'm not sure if it's like a step down or if it's just less of what you're doing at that time. Okay. Steph K, hi Ferny. It's been a while since I've been on. We are now going through a divorce. Will I be financially okay? Will I find a committed man? When? Yeah, I think you'll be financially okay. I do think that you have a heavy expense period in January, and it almost feels like it has to do with your living situation. So there's some changes there at that time, or you're going to have to spend quite a bit of money on like your living expenses in January. But and sometimes when it's that high, it usually indicates a move or just having to balance or juggle more than one thing at one time. I think you'll be fine though. I do think that you will get into another serious relationship, not this year, and I don't even think it's going to be next year. It doesn't mean you're not going to date or get to know new people. I actually think you'll end up in another relationship in the fall of 2023. The individual's name, I want to say it starts off with a P, like Patrick or Pat, or it's got a Pat sounding name to it. Okay, so I feel like it's kind of like that. By the way, guys, if you just ask for help, you got to be like, that's your opportunity. Like when I see you just say, hey, help me, that was your chance right there. I was looking at your name. I could see the question. I could see what you wrote, and you didn't write a question. You just wrote, help me. There's really nothing else to do for me. So I need you to actually like put your questions in there. Azriani 120. Hi, Ferny. Any messages from my aunt Michelle? Yeah, so it's just because I want to make pancakes. I don't know if there was a pancake breakfast thing that was like a thing, or if she was really good at pancakes, or pancakes just have a significance, but I'm almost thinking I'm seeing pancakes. At first I thought I was seeing tortillas, but I was like, no, I think this is pancakes. So I think this is pancakes. She also keeps acknowledging the number 27. So the 27th of a month might be significant, or February 7th might be significant. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. She is showing me a jewelry piece that's like a charm. So it's either like a necklace with charms on it or it's like a bracelet with charms on it. But I'm seeing something like that as well because she's making reference to that as well. There may also be a picture of her, and it might be a funny picture of her when she was younger. And I want to say, because the picture almost reminds me of like during the 90s when the late 80s, early 90s or 90s when, you know, people still wore like the patches. I think it's coming back into style. I don't know how that's coming back into style, but you know, the shoulder pads, like the, you know, will make your like shoulders really square. She showed me a picture of her like this, or an image that is somehow looks like this, but I feel like there's a reddish color to it. So she's acknowledging something she's wearing over her shoulder or something that she's got on that may have something like this that's got like a reddish coloring to it. That's a picture of her. Because I'm almost seeing an image of that. That's what she's showing me. So there's a reference to that as well. She's also acknowledging right now. So we might be within 30 days of a birthday or of a date of significance. Okay. There's a baby with her as well because she says she's got a baby with her. So the baby either is waiting to be born or the baby is miscarried, lost, or terminated. But I want to say it's possible that this is a baby coming into the picture because it kind of feels like it's ready to go. So that's what I'm thinking. Let's bring... Callie Chevy Live. Hey, Ferny, do you see me having another baby soon? Yeah. Not soon, but I would say 7 months. Give it about 7 months because I'm seeing baby energy around you in about 7 months from now. Also, it might be more than one. So might need to be prepared for that. I don't see twins very often, but when I see it, it's funny because there's a joke. I always say there's a joke where every time people get a reading from a psychic, the psychic says, oh, you're having twins. Like everybody's having twins apparently. But I don't really see that very often. But in this, I'm kind of seeing 2 babies. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So this might be 2. So just be prepared. There might actually be more than one. So FYI with that. Exo Carla Lukin. I think I'm saying that correctly. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Hello, I would love to connect with my brother. With your brother. So the first thing I'm making, thank you. Spit like hair or something in my mouth. The first thing he's showing me, he is showing me. Thank you. He's almost duplicating the name. So I want to say that he might share his name with another person in the family, or there's more than one of them, because I'm almost feeling like I'm seeing more than one name, even though I'm not actually seeing the name. Which is, I don't know how I can explain that, because when it's in my head, it's kind of hard to break that down. But it's like I'm seeing, like, whenever I see John as that for me, John is like a basic name. Like, that's just a representation of a name. It may not actually be John, but in my head I'm seeing one name and then I'm seeing a duplicate. So your brother might share his name, or there may be a name reference where he's got another person in the family with him who's there in spirit, who may have the same name, or he's acknowledging the duplicate name. He also keeps acknowledging, he is making the symbol for baby also. So either there are babies connected to him that he wants to make reference to or acknowledge, or there's a baby coming into the family that he's making reference to or acknowledging as well. He also keeps thank you. He also keeps acknowledging, I don't know, there's a picture of him where he's got like a superhero shirt, like Batman or Spider-Man or Superman, but he's showing me something like this. So there might be an image of him where he's got like the superhero shirt on, or he's pretending to be superhero. So there's a reference to that. He also keeps acknowledging more than one place that he might be honored at. So for example, like if someone were buried, but then there's also like a marker where they pass away, or if someone has like, his remains, but then somebody else has his remains or did something out in nature. He says there's two places, so there might be more than one location where he's honored at. He's showing me balloons, so that to me indicates that either he may have passed around a birthday or his birthday, or we're within right now 30 days of his birthday, because he's making reference to that as well, because he's showing me balloons. Either that or y'all release balloons for him. It's the other symbol that I would just see that as. Let's bring somebody on, shall we? Live. Like going into Bette Midler mode, y'all. I'm going into Bette Midler mode. Let's see. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. What do you want to ask me about?
I am really interested if you can connect with my mom if she's around.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel her, but I haven't felt her in a long time. So
yeah, probably because she's ascending further. Whenever they spend enough time, well, and you can call it time, whenever they've been there long enough, the energy ascends further, and it just makes it harder. It's almost like if you were on the first floor or in the lobby of a hotel, and then she's like at the elevator going up, you're like, hey, how you doing? And then if she's like one level up, you can still kind of maybe scream at them from the balcony. But then once they get to the penthouse, it's going to be really hard to make that climb down. And if we're going through some stuff, it just makes it harder to make the connection. But she's still with you. She is showing me, thank you. She's showing me the Golden Girls. Do you know if there's a special connection to either the Golden Girls or a character of the Golden Girls? Because I keep thinking of what I'm seeing is I was seeing Dorothy in my head from the Golden Girls. So either there's a reference to the Golden Girls, or the name Dorothy might be connected.
Okay.
Okay. So do you know if there's a Dorothy connection to the family, or if there's a reference to the Golden Girls?
Golden Girls, yes, not the name Dorothy though.
That's okay. So she's showing me the Golden Girls, so I'm assuming that's what she's referring to. She also keeps showing me a mug or a cup. Do you have a mug or a cup that's connected to Mom?
No.
It's got like a little like heart with like rainbow colors on it, or it's like a little heart with like little colors on it.
No.
Okay. Remember the basic.
Time.
That's okay. It's okay. Remember, was there a mug like that?
I'm trying to think. I can't recall.
That's okay. I feel like I'm, the reading rainbow, like that's what I'm thinking of. So it's like I'm seeing this mug and then I'm seeing this visual on it. So there's a reference there. So I'm gonna leave that with you, and you might have to think about that. She also keeps showing me the number 2. Do you know if the second of a month or the month of February is connected?
February.
Okay. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. She's doing this. Do you know if there's a special necklace, or if there's an honorary or memorial necklace connected?
I know of a necklace that she loved that I don't know where it is, but yeah.
Okay. I'm asking her if she can tell me where it's at. Because they sometimes do. Tell me.
It'd be gone for a long time.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say, because when I asked her where it was, she showed me a box of documents and papers. So that's what I saw in my head when I asked her where this was. So what I would say to you is, even though it's been a long time, FYI, if there are any old boxes or boxes of documents and forms and paperwork, there might be some things in there that may also be connected to the necklace or where the necklace is at. So just FYI with that. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. She says that she sets off something in the kitchen. So something either might be making alarms in the kitchen, or there might be a sound that comes from the kitchen that's like a beeping sound. It might either be like the refrigerator or the microwave, but there's something like that that she triggers.
Interesting.
So just look out for that as well. She's also showing me a little salt shaker. Salt shaker. What's it? Okay. Salt shaker. Do you know there's a salt shaker reference to mom, or there's a special bird salt shaker?
In my reference for salt shaker would be like she loved little miniature salt and pepper shakers.
Oh, okay.
But
Does she have a collection, or she's just
no.
okay? No, this is like a little birdie. That almost reminds me of, like, remember Snoopy, the little birdie? Reminds me of that. So there's a little birdie, and I'm seeing salt, or like I want to do this with this little birdie. So she's doing this or making reference to this as well. She also keeps acknowledging. Do you know if someone wrote her a letter or dedicated a song to her?
Yeah.
Okay, because she's making reference to that as well. So she's acknowledging that also. She's also talking about 2 dates within 30 days. Are we within 30 days of 2 dates of significance?
No.
2 days. And it's within 30 days, forwards or backwards, but there's 2 dates of significance. So there would be like an anniversary, birthday, something like that, because she's acknowledging something like that within 30 days.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of her. No, for me,
That's
no.
okay. That's okay. Remember that I said that again. 2 days. I'm asking her to confirm that for me. It's either right now within 30 days, or she passed away within 2 days, close to 2 days of significance. That's the only other thing that I think that would mean. But there's a reference to 2 dates of significance close to each other. So either we're within 30 days of that, or when she passed, there was 2 dates of significance around that time. That'd be birthdays, holidays, etc. But 2 dates, right, close to each other. So she's making a point of that as well. There's another female with her in spirit as well that I want to call a mother figure, because she's acknowledging another mother figure also in spirit with her. So I would assume that this is someone on her level, which would be like sister, sister-in-law, mother-in-law for you, etc. So there's another female with her that's on the same level as well. She also keeps acknowledging that her chest felt heavier than usual. Do you know if there was any fluid building up in her chest, or if she was having difficulty with her lungs?
Unfortunately, I was young, so I don't know.
Okay, that's okay. I'll leave that with you, but she's just acknowledging that her chest felt heavier than usual, and it was making it a lot harder for her. So there's something there that she's just making reference to. It's interesting because I'm almost seeing like a accumulation of the way it looks in my head, it's almost like there's like a pocket of tissue that kind of spreads out. But I'm seeing something like that, but then she's acknowledging the heaviness in her chest. So she's making reference to that. And it would have been in her upper chest or in her lungs.
Okay. Wouldn't surprise me.
All right. I am smelling smoke. Do you know if she was a smoker?
She did, yes.
Okay. When you smell that randomly out of nowhere, that's also a sign from her. So look out for that. Okay. All right, my dear. Well, I'm wishing you well, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Ferny.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. All right, let's see. Going to the next person. Here. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
It's been a rough couple of days.
I figure. Well, what would you like to ask me about?
My husband, he suddenly passed away.
Mm-hmm. Do you know if there was an effect on his heart and also oxygen to his brain?
Yeah, he had a very enlarged heart from the autopsy.
Okay, because he makes me. It's almost as if whatever's going on with my heart is affecting the amount of oxygen I'm getting to my brain, or it's like something is interfering with my brain's function, and that's the way he's making me feel. He is also acknowledging. Thank you. Do you remember before he passed if he had been slurring his words or he'd been having some weird like reflex issues?
He complained of cramping in his legs.
Okay, he is making me feel as if there's almost it's almost because the way he's showing this to me, it's almost like I'm having difficulty communicating, or there's like a little bit of a difference in how I would normally communicate, where some of my words aren't coming out as clearly, or it just feels like I'm struggling, and that's the way he's making me feel. He also keeps apologizing for the timing of his passing. Are we within 30 days of a date of significance, or right around the anniversary date?
Our anniversary would have been in December.
Okay, now he's acknowledging the timing of his passing being within 30 days of a date of significance. So do you know if he passed within 30 days of a holiday?
Well, the next holiday would be Halloween, and he's always really enjoyed taking the kids trick or treating.
There's something else. There's another date or another event that he wants to acknowledge, or he's trying to get my contest. Do you know if there's okay, thank you. Do you know if there's a contest happening right now, or there was a contest that he was looking forward to participating in?
Not that I know of.
It's like it might actually be like a Halloween contest or like a decorating contest or something like this. But it's almost like, and I want to include the kids, but I want to. I'm gonna leave that with you. This has to do with the kids because he's acknowledging a contest or like thing to like do or participate in. So there's something like this he's making reference to. So
He was wanting to take the kids to Fright Fest, to see all the Halloween stuff and the ghosts and everything. But we didn't make it.
okay. There's still a contest. This is like a contest thing that he's making reference to. It's almost like a comparison or contest or entering my name into something. There's something like that that he's acknowledging that should be coming up with that within the next few weeks. So he's making reference to something like this. So he's acknowledging that birds are a sign from him. So you might start to see birds or cardinals. Those are going to be a sign from him, and to look out for those. He also says that he did lay with you in bed. So you felt the bed mover. You felt something change. He says that was him. He was trying to let you know that he was with you, and also just to comfort you. He's also apologizing because there might have been some confusion about what was going on when he actually passed away. Was there a little bit of a miscommunication or a lapse in communication when this was happening?
He seemed pretty fine that morning, and even ate with us. But then we went to check on him, and he wasn't breathing.
Okay.
Um,
Do you know if there was miscommunication did y'all call an ambulance?
we did.
Okay. Do you know there was miscommunication happening between the ambulance or whoever you were having to communicate with in regards to him?
My son was on the phone with 911 while I was trying to do CPR.
Okay, because no, there's something else. There's something that he's making reference to where either they were saying one thing, but y'all were trying to get something else done. And there was almost like a miscommunication or misunderstanding with what was going on with all of the communication. So he's acknowledging that. So I'll leave that with you. And I want to say part of it has to do with the autopsy or with whoever was supposed to do the autopsy initially. But there's something to that he's making reference to. He showed me the number 5. Do you know if the 5th of a month or the month of May is connected?
Um, well, April would have been his birthday and our middle son's birthday.
The 5th of April?
No, that would be the 8th and the 11th.
He's referring to the 5th. So it either would be the 5th of a month or the month of May.
Oh, no, but he would use the number 5 a lot.
There's no, that's not it. There's another male with him. Let me see if I want to make sure I'm getting the right person coming through because there's too many details that are not clicking, and there should be clicking happening. Do you know there's a connection to an S male name like Stephen or Scott?
He had a friend, Scott, who has been helping out a lot with everything going on.
Okay. So I got your husband, but there's somebody else that I kind of need to acknowledge because he was telling me about this the ST male name that's referenced. Do you know of another male in spirit? I want to say he's a bit older. I feel like he either had cancer or he had to deal with cancer more than once. He may have also served in the military.
Um,
Connected to your husband or connected to Scott?
um, Not that would start with an S.
Okay, because what they're showing me is they're showing me this ST name. I almost feel like it's tied to the individual that's in spirit, aside from your husband, because your husband's one, but then this other male, I want to acknowledge him. He's older. He had cancer. He may have had more than one type of cancer. He may have also been a smoker as well, because I am smelling smoke also. So it could have possibly been lung cancer. He's also shown me military ties or connections. He would have also been buried with full honors. So they would have gone out of their way to bury him with full honors. Do you know of an older male that fits that description in spirit?
Um, no, I don't.
Here's what I'm going to say. If Scott has a father or a older male in spirit that this fits to, it's very possible that your husband's coming through. He's acknowledging himself, but then he's also bringing up who's there and wanting to even thank Scott. If Scott's been helping you out, he may be acknowledging this for Scott and letting him know, hey, this guy's here, or this man is here. But there's a reference to that. He also keeps acknowledging like the Bill or Will or William name as well. So is there a Bill or Will or William name connection?
Bill, Will. He did have a friend named Will. Bill, Will, William.
The Bill isn't in spirit. He's a past Bill or Will name.
Oh, one that's passed.
Mm-hmm.
Not
That's
that I'm
okay.
aware.
I'll leave that with you, but you might have to think about it just because when you're, I know in the moment when you're on camera, people are like, well, they can't click the pieces in place. And then when they go back over the recording, they'll figure it out. Go back over this recording and pay attention to what I'm saying because there's some details there that you might click with as soon as you start to review it. But just go back over it when you get a chance. Another thing to look out for are butterflies because he's going to send you butterflies. So butterflies are going to be a sign from him. He also says to take your time and there's no rush to do anything right now. So he's almost acknowledging that he wants you to take your time. He also makes me feel like you need to still talk to him because he says, even though you don't feel like he's physically with you, he says, I can hear you. And I want you to talk to me because I want you to get it out, get it out. So he's just acknowledging and giving you permission to feel the way you need to feel. You don't have to do it in front of the family or in front of the kids, but he's letting you know he wants to connect with you in this way so that you can express yourself. Okay? Give it some time to hear. Did he just pass away?
He did. He passed away last Tuesday.
Oh yeah, it's just happened. Yeah, so he might just be acclimating himself still or getting used to it. But when you get the recording, when you watch the video, go back over it because those details are going to make more sense once you see it through that. But give it some time, okay? But he is with you, sweetheart.
Okay, thank
Okay?
you.
All right, darling. You take care of yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. All right, going through here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so that one didn't go through. Let's try somebody else. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that one didn't go through. Let's try somebody else. Let's try one more. Let's see. Like Whitney Houston going off in the, is that, yeah, it's Whitney. I was like, I know, I recognize that voice. That's Whitney. Let's see. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. There. So that one didn't go through. Okay. I'm going to try one more person here because I'm like, what's going on? Are people not getting my invitations, my invites?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Jeanette.
Hey,
How you doing?
is it wrong that I was like, I hope they don't answer?
Oh, how funny. No, it's perfectly okay. It's whatever. Think whatever you want to think. What do you want to ask me about?
I just want to see if, I have any messages from my mom or my son,
Mm-hmm.
and if you feel any baby energy around me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, baby energy around you, 4 months. It's not that long from now. So 4 months. As far as mom is concerned, do you have a wreath or decor that belongs to your mom that's Christmas related?
Yes.
Okay, because she's acknowledging that. She also, thank you. Do you have 2 candles that are lit for her? Or are there 2 candles lit for her?
Yeah.
That she's
My stepdad and me, we'd light one for her.
acknowledging that. She's also showing me a seagull. I don't even know how to interpret that. Do you know if there's a funny thing about a seagull or a seagull reference?
Mm,
I'm
the only
almost
thing
I'm
I don't
almost feeling,
know.
well, the way I'm seeing this is I'm seeing like what looks like a seagull, but I'm seeing it on metal. So either there's a metal plaque or a metal thing, and there's like seagulls in the metal thing. Do you know if there's a visual or an image or something like this that has these seagulls next to the ocean that's like metal?
She may have something like that at her house, but then again, she had a lot of stuff, so
Okay,
I
that's okay.
wouldn't put
Just
it. I
remember that
wouldn't
I
put
said
past
that.
it.
So just FYI, because I don't
Okay.
even know how to even connect it to that. She showed me the number 13. Do you know if the 13th of a month is significant?
She passed away on a 14th
Okay,
of
that's okay.
yeah.
She's going
So
to be close enough. So she's acknowledging the connection there. She also keeps, she's laughing. She's also saying the 12th as well. Is there also a 12th date or a December date also?
yeah.
Okay, perfect. She's affirming that. So she's just making
Yeah.
reference to that. She also keeps acknowledging the jarrito or the container where either beans are or pennies are. Is there some sort of container like jarrito or something like this that has like either beans or pennies in it?
I think my stepdad, he has two different containers where she would just throw her change in there all the time. And she would always get mad at me because I would, like, if I was running low on money, she would have like a bunch of quarters there, and she'd be like, "Stop, Hannah, stop getting my damn money."
How funny! How funny! Well, it's funny because I want to mix them together. Like I want to put beans and pennies together. Do y'all ever play like the bingo or what is it? The like the
The loteria.
the loteria. Do y'all ever play that?
She wasn't a big fan of it. My stepdad was,
Yeah.
so we never really got to play it.
She's showing me something and I cannot figure this out. There's either a container or there's a jar of some sort. It could be a jarrito, it could be clay. It has pennies or beans in it.
Another thing, my stepdad did use her containers for beans. He was always putting beans everywhere because he would always make them all the time.
Oh, funny.
So that's
Okay.
probably.
She might just be acknowledging this or what he's been using or what he's using since her passing. So there's a reference there as well. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. Do you have a daughter?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I'm seeing a little girl with a yellowish colored dress, yellow and white. Do you know of a young girl who's got a yellow or white colored dress on?
She had a lot of granddaughters, but not from me, from my brother and my sister.
Here's what I'm going to say. It's very possible she's just letting us know that there's going to be another little girl or another girl. And that
She
may be
better
what
not
she's
send
referring
me
to.
that little girl.
I'm seeing this little girl, and she's in such a cute little dress. It's yellow and white, and so she's showing me this young girl. So there's a reference to that. So I'm going to assume maybe that's what that means, that she's letting you know there's a little girl coming to you. Okay. She also says she's proud of you. She also says that it's okay to ask for help. So if you want to ask other family members for some help, it's understandable. You shouldn't always feel the pressure to do everything yourself. She also says thank you for Do you know there's an image of her? Or there's something dedicated to her that's been made in art? Okay, she's acknowledging this. So she's saying thank you for this. So she's making reference to this as well. It's interesting because I'm seeing this and then I want to cut it in half or split it in half. Do you know what that means?
Well, for my graduation picture, that's pretty. She wasn't able to attend my graduation, so it was a picture of her and a picture of me, and I held it so that way she could attend in some way. That's the only thing I could think of.
But she's connecting it to art, as if there's like an artistry to this.
I know I was planning to get art done for her. I haven't got around to it yet, though.
It's almost like there's a thing that's artistic for her. I want to say it's either honoring her face or her name, and then I'm splitting it in half.
I don't know. Okay. Not unless it's just my tattoo, because it got the sunflower and it got her name in the middle of it.
Okay, so it's got a sunflower. It's got her name in the middle of it. Did you have to do it on 2 separate visits, or did you have to do it on 2 separate?
No, it's just instead of the stem, it has her name like right in the middle of the stem. So it's really not the stem; it's just her name.
That's not it. There's a piece of art that's dedicated to her. It's weird because it almost looks like this thing is ripped in the middle. Is how she's showing it to me. So it's as if I'm seeing something that is on art, and then it's ripped in the middle, or it's like intentionally torn in half.
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll leave that with you. So there's something like this that she's making reference to, but it's artistically done, or it's done in an artist-like way, but then there's like a split halfway down the middle. There's something to that she's just trying to make reference to or acknowledge. Either that, or there's something that was torn in half that was artistic, and she's aware that it got damaged. There's something there. She's ripping this in half as there's like a split down the middle. Okay? Sylvia also. Do you know there's a connection to the name Sylvia?
She knew somebody named Sylvia, yes.
Sylvia or Sonia. It's got an S name. It's a short S name, female.
I'm not sure. She knew a lot of people.
There's still a lot. This person's still alive. It's like a Sylvia or Sonia or Selena. It's got a name like that.
Sylvia, she knew Sylvia, and that lady is still alive. Sonia would be my cousin, but I don't think she'd be talking about her because we're not really close to our family.
Is your grandma Sonia's grandmother in spirit?
My grandmother's passed away, so Sonia would be.
Is she her niece?
Yes, okay. She's her niece.
Do you know if I'm going to go with the Sonia because I kind of want to go in that direction. Doesn't matter whether you feel close to her or not. Do you know if there's rumors in that family about parents not being their actual parents, or people who there's like someone whose parent is not their real parent?
Actually, on that part of the family, there is actually a lot of drama, so I wouldn't put it past it.
Okay. Well, the grandmother's gossiping, so that's probably why the grandmother, or the one that's connected to the Sonia, which I'm assuming is your mom's mom. She's acknowledging that someone's parent or father is not their actual father.
And if it's coming from my grandma always had the tea, so I wouldn't put it past her.
So FYI, and this might come out like in the near future because she's like almost like spilling the beans before y'all find out. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, you take care of yourself and
thank you.
The rest of your night.
Thank you. You too.
You're welcome, darling.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, let's see. Let me do a couple more of the text ones real quick, and then I'm going to jump off, and then we'll get back on for our steady group time. Brittany Gray. Hey, Ferny, happy hump day. Do you have anything from my spirit guide about my relationship moving to the next level and my finances, changing careers? So grateful for girl, you're asking for a full reading. As far as the relationship is concerned, I feel like this individual is not there and they're not ready. And if you push them too hard, you're only going to get disappointed. So just take your time with this person or with this individual because they need time to level it up. And because they're not there yet. So they need some time. So give them some time. Also, towards the end of the year, there might be some drama that comes up with them and someone that they were involved with, or with like a baby mama or something like that. So there might be someone that pops in or that there's some drama around. So be patient because they may have to figure out or work through that as well. Hold them accountable though. Sometimes when we're in relationships, people think that their life, if it's dysfunctional or there's some dysfunction to it, that it's normal because it's been normalized for them or they've just dealt with it. But sometimes when people get into relationships where the standards are higher, it's okay to hold someone accountable to those standards. And so I would say hold this person accountable to those standards, okay? Darlene Eisman, Ferny, I need some peace. Husband died 3 years ago. Can you please let me know if he has been in house visiting me and what do you see for me in the future? Thank you, Darlene. Yeah, so he has been around. He interestingly enough, even though you said 3 years, he's also shown me the three again. So there might be another 3 date that is significant. So the third of a month is significant, or the month of March is connected because he's making reference to that also. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. There might be a animal that's with, I feel like there's an animal he's wanting to make reference to. I don't know if it's with him or not, but I feel like the animal is very like, the name is like trooper or like marshal. It's got a very like, it's a similar name to that he's making reference to an animal that's like, I want to say it's a dog, but it's got this name to it. He also keeps it, thank you. He's also showing Pinky. There's a joke about Pinky or Pinky as well as being significant as well. He also keeps acknowledging he is doing this. So there might be a necklace that is connected, or you may wear a ring around your neck, but there's a reference to a ring and then the necklace. So he's acknowledging that as well. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. There might be a George or a Georgia or a Georgie reference also because he's acknowledging that as being connected also. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you, the number 11 as well. So November or the 11th of the month may also be connected, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to get off here and then I'm going to get back on for our study group, okay?